Welcome to the yoga session. I want you to be gentle with yourself today and be curious about how you're doing, curious about working with your body. Your body's different every day. We have a gentle, rhythmic style of moving through the yoga poses that should help your body to open, release, and get strong in a safe way. Today I'm going to mirror you. We're going to go the opposite the way you're going to go. When I say right, you go to the right, I'm going to go to the left. And so it'll be easy for you to follow us along. So take it easy. If you feel any pain, ease back. My motto is pain, no gain, and just follow along and enjoy yourself. Find out how to enjoy your body and discover how your body's doing today and how it can open and how it can get strong. Let's start with a few warm-ups. First, let's try gentle swinging around from side to side. You can let your legs get a little bit apart. You can come up on your toes. Breathe loosely a few times. Let a few sighs out. And let your arms flop around. If you have any shoulder or neck problems, being cautious not to strain, not to swing too hard, making sure to be a little conservative if you need to be. Let your hips move. Let your spine relax a little bit. Let your head move. And just a few more swings from side to side. Loosen your breath, loosen your body, loosen your hips and spine. Several more rocks from side to side. And then let's gently come on into center and bring the legs a little closer together, about 6 or 7 inches apart. And you can rest your hands on your hips. Now you might try and find your hips. Usually we find some big bones a little bit up below the waist. If you go down to the bottom of the waist or bottom of the hips to where your legs begin, that's where your hip joints really are. And you want to move from the hip joints, not from the bottom of the waist. Just let those legs go from side to side. Your weight's going to shift from side to side on the legs. And breathe. And as you do that, your head's going to be able to surrender and move as well. So the movement of the hips gently moves up through your spine and through the neck, just letting it go without straining. Hands can rest gently on the hips, or they can push a little bit if you feel safe with your wrists. Breathe, keep breathing. A couple more rocks from side to side. And then let's do a little circling around with the tailbone. So your hips again get a nice rolling around motion. And start feeling a sense of friendliness towards your body, like you're listening to it, like you're treating it as if you'd be with a good friend of yours. And you're listening and paying attention to what it wants, what it needs now. Let's switch directions. You might imagine you have a ballpoint pen attached to your tailbone, and you're drawing a circle with that. Keep breathing. If you stop breathing, your body tightens up. You want the flow of breath to gently flow in and out. Several more circles around. And then let's bring the legs a little bit wide. Again, find the tops of the legs, the crease of the thigh there. And let's go a little side to side. And if your wrists are okay, you can actually push down a little bit on the leg bone. That helps open up the groin muscles a little bit. We're lubricating the joints, softening the joints. We're not straining the joints. Rhythmic movement allows them to get strong and open without straining or tightening or creating injuries. A couple more rocks from side to side. Just getting the spine moving. You might let your head surrender a little more to the movement. One more time to each side, breathing comfortably. And then let's circle around. Now let your knees get soft. When you let your knees get soft, it helps the tailbone to move around. When the knees get locked, your back and shoulders tend to lock up. Just roll around, knees soft, tailbone nice and easy to move around. Switch directions, breathing comfortably. Roll that around. The hip movement allows the shoulders to move comfortably, shoulders and neck to move around. And then gently coming into center. And let's put the hands just resting down to the sides and do a little side to side. Inhale up to center, exhale to the side. Let the hand come up under the armpit area and that lets your rib cage open up and breathe. Inhaling up to center, exhale to the side, finding the rhythm of your breath and following that with your body. Find your own breath rhythm. Everybody has a slightly different one. One more time to each side. And then let's come on down to the left side. And you can either rest the hand lightly on the leg or press down a little bit. Bring the other hand up, and you can rest it on the chest if you have shoulder and neck problems. If you feel okay and safe, you can reach the arm up and over, stretching out the waist. Take a breath or two, just letting the waist open up. Then if you have the hand on the chest, I want you to just roll down and up, breathing comfortably. If you have the hand reaching out over, do a circle, and you can look at the hand if that feels comfortable for you. That lets your neck, shoulder area warm up gently. Take a couple more breaths, just rolling that around. And one more time. Then let the hand draw you up. And let's come on down to the other side. Again, you can have the hand on the chest, or you can reach the arm up and over. Take a couple of breaths into the ribs on the left side. And then you can either have the hand on the chest and roll down and up, or the hand reaching out and over and going around in a circle. You can follow your hand with your eyes to let the neck and shoulder move through a nice full motion. One or two more times around, breathing comfortably, just getting everything warmed up and lubricated, and then at some point coming on up to center. Then let's hang over in front. Relax your back, make sure it's comfortable. Gently move your shoulders around to just make sure they're okay. Release the deep spaces inside the shoulder joints and the blades. Take a couple breaths deeper into your belly, and then do a little rolling from side to side, or rather swaying from side to side. Just letting your spine roll back and forth. Then come on over one leg, hold on and relax down for a few seconds. Let your elbows relax, let the back of the skull drop. And then come over to the other side, let your elbows relax, let the back of your skull drop. Take a couple of breaths into the belly. And then come on into center, gently hold on to the legs, wherever's comfortable, and very gently encourage your head towards the ground so your back begins to warm up and soften. Another breath or two, just gently extending down, relaxing the back over. And then at some point, let your hands release in front. And your inhale, let's try swinging the arms up. Now, if you have shoulder trouble, just come on up. Otherwise, you can let the arms stretch up. Relax your tailbone down, let your knees soften, and let your shoulders drop. Then gently lift up your chest, take an inhale, and exhale, let the arms come down. And let's bring the legs closer together. Let's bring the right leg forward with the left leg back, comfortable amount apart. And place your hands gently on the hip joint area and sway that left hip forward and back. So we're warming up the hip joint and the spine. Just getting a nice good sway going. Rhythmic movement helps the body to free up, get strong and supple without getting into injuries. When you get rigid in your body, injuries start to happen. At some point, drop that left hip forward and then bend the front knee slightly, your right knee slightly, and try bouncing that knee up and down. Now you can go very slowly, or you can go a little bit fast. It's as though there's a spring in your knee. If this causes you knee trouble, just be very cautious with it. It's usually safe. And then at some point, letting the spring release down, drop your tailbone down, drop your knee down, let your lungs get light and open. Shoulders relax down. Your body should feel springy. Your joints should feel springy and open. Take a couple of breaths here. The knee still feels soft, the tailbone feels soft, and the chest feels light and open. One more breath here, and then straighten that front leg. And let's walk the legs together. Walk them out a little bit to make sure that you relax any tension out of them, any strain. And then let's swing the left leg forward with the right leg back. If you have any pressure in the back of the heel, you can turn the back foot out a little bit so that you don't have a burning feeling in the heel. Then sway your right hip forward and back. And just gently get the spine, hips warming up, breathing comfortably. One more time, and then drop that hip comfortably forward. You should feel a nice springiness in the hip. Let that front knee bend a little bit, and bounce. You can do it slowly or fast. Imagine there's a little spring in your knee, and then gently drop the knee a little deeper, not so far as to hurt it, dropping your tailbone down and letting your lungs get light for a couple of breaths. Hold this pose for a couple of moments, shoulders relaxed. And then on your next inhale, come on up to standing. And bring your legs closer together. Walk them out a little bit. And let's bring the legs a little wider, side to side. Then turn your left foot straight out to the side and push your right heel just gently back a little bit. So the hips stay forward, fairly forward, so that you don't strain your knees. Then drop your tailbone down, and again, bounce that knee a little bit, the left knee. Trying to open up the leg bones from inside, letting your tailbone relax down. And then at some point, drop the tailbone, drop the knee, and let your lungs relax up so you feel like your leg bones are moving away from each other. They're opening, creating space for your spine. One more breath here. Stay as long as you want if you're doing this at home with the video. And then come on up and turn your legs to the opposite side. So your right leg turns straight out to the side, your left heel pushes back a little bit, and you bounce that right knee, creating space in the spine, tailbone area, breathing comfortably. At some point, drop the hips down, drop the tailbone, and let the lungs get light and open. Take another breath or two. Joints feel springy and open. Muscles can get strong without being tight. And then let's come on up to center and bring the legs forward. Walk it out a little bit. Let your arms swing a little bit and let your neck go loose a little bit so that you're not straining the shoulders, but you're letting them move. The tendency is for the shoulders to get rigid, and we want to let the shoulders drop and just move gently without straining, getting those joints free and springy. Then let's gently roll the shoulders in and roll the shoulders out. Breathe. Inhale, you can inhale back, exhale in. If you feel any strain or pain in the shoulders, ease back, go very gently with this. Especially if you have RSI, you want to be very cautious with these movements. One more time, in and out. And then let your shoulders come into center. Now, most of us tend to pull back and tighten our shoulders up when we try and stand up straight. And then we do movements out of that, and everything gets locked up. What I'd rather have you do is actually let your shoulders drop and slump a little bit. And then let your chest lift, but keep the shoulders relaxed and dropping. And let them be soft, so that your lungs are open, but your shoulders can drop the weight off of them. Take another couple of breaths, and then swing your hips around a little bit, and create a kind of wave up through your body from your feet. Your hips are rolling around. Let that wave move up through your spine and up through your shoulders and neck. And let your shoulders just come a little loose from your hip movement. So if we focus too much, if you have pain in the shoulders, you want to actually try and release them from other parts of the body. If you focus too much on the painful part, often you get stuck there. Move through the whole body, and that'll be good for the particular parts that hurt. Let's switch directions and go the other way around. Breathe and send a wave up through your shoulders from your hips and legs, releasing that, letting your neck come soft a little bit. Breathe comfortably, sending a soft wave up through the body. Couple more breaths. And then let's come on into center. And try giving yourself a hug. Okay? See how that feels. And pull a little from side to side. Go a little side to side. And try gently, if your wrists are okay, to pull on your shoulder blades to kind of pull the shoulder blades around and open up the space in between the shoulder blades. Remember to keep breathing as you go. At some point, come into center and walk your elbows as far around past each other as they can, walking your hands around. And then on your inhale, lift your elbows up a little bit. Exhale, squeezing the elbows down into the chest gently. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, elbows come down into the chest. 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then switch arms, so the opposite arm is on top. Again, a little going from side to side, gently pulling on the shoulder blades if you want. Then walk your hands around a little farther, and then inhale, lifting up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. And 2 more of those. Gentle movements, letting the shoulder blades soften and open. 1 more time, inhale up. Exhale down, and gently let your arms come down. Soften your chest right up at the top of the chest. Soften so the shoulders drop, but then gently let your lungs lift up. Shoulders drop through the lungs lift up through the shoulders, softening the shoulders and energizing your lungs so your posture begins to open up. Then let's free up the shoulders a little more freely by swinging the arms. Now, soften your knees as you do that, and that lets you get a little shock absorber so your shoulders and spine can release their movement deeply. If you ever want to try it, you can lock your knees and do the same movement. It usually feels kind of unpleasant and like you're banging yourself. And just rock like that, breathing comfortably. And a couple more breaths like that. Microphone. Let me fix my microphone here. And then shake out your wrists and fingers. And let that release your arms and shoulders a little bit. Just soften. You want to make your fingers into noodles. This helps release the shoulders. And then relax that, come into center. Now again, do little tiny movements with your shoulders to just let them go, let them drop. It's as though they're dropping down into the lungs, and then the lungs are opening up into the shoulders and supporting them. Keep your knees soft, let your tailbone relax down. Your posture opens up from inside rather than being rigid. Now, once we get the shoulders relaxed, let's move on up through the neck muscles. And just gently turn your head from side to side. With soft shoulders, the neck starts to move easily, very gently. You're not straining anything, you're not pushing anything. You're just moving at a comfortable pace and breathing in a natural way. Softening the joints rather than straining them. You have about 7 bones in your neck, and you want to just gently move, warming them up, lubricating them. Breathe 1 more time to each side. Shoulders keep relaxing. They may want to keep tightening. Just relax them. And then come on into center. And let's do the ears from side to side, very gently. Again, don't strain it, don't push it. Just think of warming up the neck muscles and the neck bones, getting things lubricated and soft. 1 more time to each side, breathing comfortably. And then come on into center. Now, let your head drop down and relax down. Soften the chin in towards the chest. Soften the back of the neck. Let go. It's as though your face is dropping towards the ground. And then come on up to center. And then gently stretch your chin up a little bit to do the back bend for the neck. You don't want to compress the neck. And just take a couple of breaths here, softening and opening, breathing comfortably. And then let's do a little forward and back. Flowing back and forth. And breathe. Extending the chin up as you go back and coming down comfortably. One more time. Let's do forward and back. Keep the knees soft, keep your shoulders dropping, and then come on into center. Now, we're going to do circles. If you have neck problems, you really probably want to avoid the circles. But if your neck feels comfortable enough, just do 2 slow circles around one direction. Keep breathing and relax it around. If you get a sore spot, ease back. 2 times around. And then switch and go the other way around 2 times. Keep the knees soft, keep your tailbone a little heavy. And one last time, coming down and coming up to center. Then let's hang it all over, drop down. Feel like your shoulder blades are dropping out of your back. Move your arms around in small ways to release comfortably for you. Releasing the shoulders and the shoulder blades. Hang over. Knees can be soft so that your back is comfortable. Don't lock the knee joints. Then hold on to your legs wherever is comfortable. And on your inhale, lift your head gently forward. Exhale, let your head come down towards the knees. Inhale, lift the head gently forward. Exhale, the head comes down towards the knees. Inhale, try to extend your spine just a little more as you lift the head up. Exhale down, a little deeper towards the knees if it's comfortable. One more time, inhale up. Exhale down. And then a very gentle encouragement of your head down towards the knees. Breathe into your belly and back a little more. Let the breath flow through. And then let your hands release. And you can either swing your way up to standing or you can come up gently as you like. If your shoulders are okay, you bring the arms up. Otherwise, the arms stay down. Relax your shoulders down, even if you have the arms up. Relax your tailbone down, relax your knees, and gently reach up and back, taking a breath or 2. And then take another inhale and exhale. Let the arms come flowing down. Now, if it's comfortable for you, hold on to your forearms behind you. Not everybody's comfortable with that movement. If you're not comfortable with that, you can have the hands resting on the waist. And take an inhale, just lifting your collarbones and chest, opening your collarbones wide and lifting your chest up. Stretch your chin up for a second, take an inhale, and then exhale, straighten and twist around to your left and look back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, twist to the other side, looking back. Inhale, come forward. And exhale to the side. Let your shoulder lead you around and let your head follow. And a couple more times at your own pace, back and forth like that. Inhale forward. Exhale, twist. Inhale forward. Exhale, twist. And then inhale, come on forward. Exhale, let's just relax over in this position. And again, you can let your arms come hanging down. Release them down. Shake out your arms and shoulders and do it a little bit more vigorously now if it's comfortable. We've done a lot of warm-ups. And kind of roll those upper shoulders around, rolling the shoulder blades around, softening them down. Then just hang down again for a couple of breaths. Take a breath or 2. Now, listen to your exhales. Feel your exhales. And let your exhales drop you down a little bit. The inhale tends to lift you up. Let the exhale release you and drop you. Soften your spine. 2 or 3 more breaths here. Keep softening the shoulders, soften the back of the head, as though the head is dropping away from the neck. And then we're going to take several breaths, and if it's okay for your back, you're going to roll up, draw your tailbone under, and gradually roll your spine up. Your head's going to be the last thing to come up. And let the shoulders drop into place. Take a second to make sure the shoulders are okay, softening down as your chest opens up. Knees are a little soft. And then let's turn the head gently from side to side a couple more times, just to make sure the neck is soft. One more time to each side. And then let's come on into center. And let's come on down to sitting down. Any comfortable position is fine. If you want to do these things in a chair, feel free. Most of them are very easy to adapt. You can have your hands resting on your legs or behind you, whatever's comfortable for you. And what I'd like to do right now is just go through joints. We want to get the whole body moving, and that will help release any place in you that has injuries. If you're injured in one part, if we release the rest of it, it'll help to release the injured part. So let's think of those toes that we tend to ignore and not work with, and just start curling your toes and pulling them back. Curling them toes and pulling them back. If you can spread them a little bit apart when you bring them back, spread them a little bit apart and breathe comfortably like that. Just doing the toes. Couple more rocks, couple more squeezes and pullbacks. Don't stop breathing. Then let's add the ankle movement. Stretch out through your toes towards the ground, then pull back your toes towards your knees, and like that, getting the ankle through a nice full movement. Breathing comfortably. One or two more times like that. Again, you're not trying to strain the joints, you're just trying to lubricate them and create a sense of space in your joints, opening up the space in the joints. Then let's do some circles with the ankles. Roll that around. Let your whole leg roll with it so that the hips get a nice openness too. Again, creating space and lubrication in the joints. If you breathe, it helps things to open up. Switch directions, breathing comfortably. Nice softness through the ankles. And then let's relax that for a second and just listen to the feeling in the toes and ankles for a second. See if there's any sensation. And then let's bend up the right knee and hug the knee gently to the chest. Relax your shoulders down. Take an inhale and exhale. Let's stretch that leg out straight. And if it's comfortable, you hold onto the leg and lift a little bit. Inhale, you pull in gently. Exhale, if it's comfortable, you lift a little bit. If it feels too much for the wrists or the shoulders, you can just have the hands resting wherever you want and just extend the knee in and out comfortably. If you're holding on, let's do a couple more. Inhale, pulling in. Exhale, stretching out. Inhale, pulling in. Exhale, stretch out. And let's do the other side. Hugging in. If your wrists or shoulders bother you, just let the hands rest and pull the knee in and out with the leg muscles. Inhale, pull in. Exhale, extend out. And inhale, pulling in. And exhale, extending out. And several more of those. Inhale and exhale. Breathe at your own pace. Feel free to find your own breath rhythm. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Then let your legs relax a little bit. Shake them out a little bit if you want. And let's work into the fingers a little. Now, if you have RSI, you want to be very cautious with these next things. But very gently, you can squeeze the hands, then open the fingers, making the finger webs tingle a little bit. And breathe with that. Inhale one direction, exhale going the other direction. Inhale and exhale. And two more of those. Inhale and exhale. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Then let's do wrist circles. Again, think of space in the joints, opening space in the joints, softening them, lubricating them, not straining them. Breathe comfortably. Shoulders relax, elbows get a little heavy. Switch directions, breathing comfortably. Roll the wrists around, soften and open the joints. Couple more times around. And then come into center. And again, shake out the wrists and fingers a little bit to let them release. And then bend your knees up a little bit And you can come over. Now, if your wrists and shoulders are very bad, you can just rest your arms down, either on the legs or between the legs, whatever works for you. If it feels okay, you can either hold on to the ankles or the toes. And the first thing you want to check out is, are your elbows rigid or not? Most of us tend to reach out and hold our elbows rigid, and then the shoulders tighten up. Then you let the elbows go, the shoulders release. So that when the elbows are springy, the shoulders and neck can release. And then gently, keeping that springiness, inhale, let's lift the chest and head forward and up. And exhale, let your head come down towards the knees. Inhale, gently lifting forward and up. Exhale, relaxing down towards the knees. And inhale, coming forward and up. And exhale, coming down. And then just hang down. Now you can either relax down or you can gently encourage yourself a little deeper. Keep the elbows soft and springy and a little heavy towards the ground. Your shoulder blades can open up then. Make sure you're not tightening the chin in towards the chest, that area is soft, and that your head is just relaxing over. Let your heels and let your sit bones release a little heavier into the ground, and that lets your back and your head let go. Couple more breaths, letting your spine soften and round. Breathe a little bit more into the belly and the back. And then at some point, come on up to sitting. If your shoulders are okay, you can reach the arms up. Inhale and exhale, hands come down, being cautious of the shoulders. Then let's bend the knees up again a little bit. This time try hugging around the backs of your legs. Now if you have wrist trouble, you don't want to hold on to with the hands. You can just rest the hands on the ground. If it's okay, you can hold on to your forearm with one hand. Give a nice, good pressure of your belly coming down into your legs. And then straighten your legs as far as is comfortable for you, as far as feels safe for your back. And let your shoulder blades relax open in the back. Take a couple more breaths here. And breathe into your lower back a little more. What you want to aim for is a nice sense of stretch in the low back and perhaps a stretch in the backs of the legs. You may have to adjust how straight your legs are to get just the right sense of openness and freedom through your back and legs. 2 or 3 more breaths here. Enjoying your back, enjoying the shoulders releasing. Relax your heels, relax your sit bones. Let the chin soften. And then let's gently wind up out of that. And let's try taking it into a twist to help release the back. You can bend up the left knee and try crossing your left foot over to the other side of the leg. Hold on, and let's do a little more hip warming up while we're here. Pull the knee gently in, lift the chest. Again, if you have shoulder problems, you want to go gently with this, you can just lift the chest and come down. If your arms are okay, you pull in a little extra on the knee. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, rounding a bit. And like that, at your own pace. Inhale, you lift and open the chest. The shoulders can come down a bit. Exhale, relax. And 2 more times like that. Inhale up. Exhale down. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale, relax. Now let's take it into a twist. Keep the legs right where they are. Bring your right hand around, rest it on the leg. Bring your left hand around behind you and it can rest on the ground. You want to be cautious with this if you have shoulder problems. No strain, no pull that's going to cause you pain. Now our tendency when we twist is to hollow the chest and lift the shoulders and get very rounded and hunched and twist around. What I want you to do first, that's a painful way to do it. What I want you to do first is to relax your shoulders, lift your lungs, breathe, then twist around. If the shoulders are okay, you can pull a little extra with the hand on the knee. Let your head turn back without straining. Shoulders keep relaxing down, lungs keep lifting up. Sit bones relax into the ground. And then, keeping the shoulders relaxed, taking several breaths, turn your head softly forward and back. Just letting that head turn from side to side, making sure you find softness and openness. If there's any strain, ease back, and then gently let the head turn back for 2 breaths. So you're looking towards the back for 2 breaths. And then let's come forward and let's switch legs. Bend up the right knee, cross the foot over, hold onto the knee, inhale, lifting up the chest, perhaps drawing the knee in close if the shoulders are okay. Exhale, release. And like that, being cautious of your wrists. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, round a bit. And like that, a couple more times. Inhaling, exhaling. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Then bring the left hand around, rest it on the leg. Bring your right hand around behind you. And the first thing I want you to do is to let your shoulders drop. Just let them drop down. Then, without lifting the shoulders, let your lungs open upward. Then, twist around gently to your right, looking back over your right shoulder. If it feels okay, you can pull a little bit with your hands. Don't strain the shoulders or the wrists. Take a breath. And then let's turn the head forward and back a few times, side to side. Just letting the neck muscles move through a nice full motion. We change the neck-shoulder configuration here, and it makes a nice movement for the neck. Breathe. And then turn your head towards the back for a couple of breaths. And then let's come forward. And let's come on down to lying down. Hug your knees. Again, if you have wrist trouble, you can rest your hands on the ground if you want to, or you can rest the hands on the legs, or you can hug and hold on to the fingers or the wrist. And sway from side to side. Just roll from side to side. And give your back a good massage. So we've done a lot of work through your spine now. We've twisted it, we've moved it side to side, forward and back, and now massage all that work into the bones and muscles of the spine. Let your head be free to move. Let your jaw move around a little bit. Loosen it up. See how your breath is doing. Loosen your breath a little bit so your body can loosen too. Several more rocks from side to side. And then let your feet come down. Take a second to let your spine relax. And then let's roll over onto stomachs. You can roll with your head back. That'll be okay. And take a second to connect with your breathing. It's nice on the ground. You can feel your chest and stomach. And just breathe comfortably here. Then, on your inhale, stretch your right leg back and up into the air. If you have a bad back, being cautious. Inhale, reaching the leg up. Exhale down. If you have a bad back, just squeeze your buttock muscles, pressing the hips into the ground. Otherwise, inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale down. Maybe one more of those. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Then do the other side 3 or 4 times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And inhale up. And exhale down. Then bring your feet a little bit apart, maybe a foot apart. And if it's comfortable for your back, lift both legs back and up and stretch your chest forward. If this feels like too much, just squeeze your buttock muscles and press the hips flat into the ground. Now breathe into your belly a little more in either case. Take a couple more breaths. And then come on down whenever you feel like it. And let yourself release for a second. And then let's come into a child's pose, coming into fetal position. And you can either have your hands forward by your head or down by your feet, whatever allows your shoulders and neck to be comfortable. Let yourself rest here for a second. I'm going to demonstrate another adjustment here. You can bring a pillow under your head if you need to. And another adjustment is, let's put a pillow under your ankles, Angela. Another adjustment if you get cramps in the feet is to put a pillow under your ankles, and that allows you to be comfortable letting your back relax. Take another couple of breaths here, just letting things rest, letting your belly come to a comfortable place. And then let's come on down to lying on backs again. Let's have the knees bent. If it's comfortable for your shoulders, stretch your arms out to each side. If that's not comfortable, rest your hands on your waist or on your ribs. Bring your knees and feet together. Relax your chest a little bit, relax your shoulder blades. And then let's start rocking the knees from side to side. Just nice loose roll. You're massaging out the deep nerves and muscles in your hips and low back. Go cautiously with it. Start small. Hopefully it feels good. And gradually start to go a little farther to each side. Let your shoulder blades be soft on the ground. They're going to move a little bit. Let your head also be slightly shifted by the movement of the knees. Just relax into it. You may even gradually get the knees all the way down to each side. And if you want to, you can harmonize your breath and motion. Inhaling up to center, exhaling to the side. Inhaling up to center, exhaling to the side. Be gentle with your body. Let it move fully through the rhythmic movement. Inhaling up to center, exhaling to the side. One or two more times to each side. Then let's try coming down to one side, and you can either relax there and just let your weight of your hips get heavy, let your shoulder blades get heavy, let your lungs get light. Or if you feel like it, you can stretch over with that top hip and the knees, reaching over a little more fully. You might even push the shoulder blade and the arm gently into the ground to extend that over. Take 2 or 3 deeper breaths through the whole torso, chest and abdomen. And then on your next inhale, come on up to center, and exhale, come down to the other side. And you can either relax there and let go, or if you want to, you can extend over a little farther, taking a few breaths. Press the shoulder blade into the ground if it feels safe. And then come on up to center. And just do a couple of loose rolls, and now loosen your breath a little bit. In fact, do a couple of mouth breaths if you want to. Just let them drop out. Let your hips relax, let your spine soften. We've done a lot of work to open up almost every joint in your body. Just relax the shoulders and neck. And then let's take it into a twist I call the alligator twist. You want to have your right knee bent with your left leg straight. Arms again can either be stretched out to each side, or if the shoulders feel unsafe, rest your hands on your rib cage or your waist, wherever it feels like it. You want to scoot your hips a little bit over towards the right. This is the tricky part of the movement. You want to scoot them over about 3 or 4 inches, then put your right foot on top of the left knee, and then roll over onto your left hip. If this feels like it's too strong, just bend both knees and go to the side as we did earlier. Then if you want to, you can rest your left hand on the knee. Keep relaxing your right shoulder into the ground. If it wants to lift a little, that's okay if it feels safe, but keep resting it down. And let the knee and the shoulder feel like they're releasing away from each other. Breathe comfortably. Each inhale is going to open the body a little bit, Each exhale is going to soften and let go of the body a little bit. Let yourself rest into the exhales a little more. Couple more breaths here. Let your face soften. The skin of the face softens. Jaw is slightly relaxed. 1 or 2 more breaths here. More if you like. If you want to stay longer, you can stay longer. At some point, when you feel like it, you come up to center, straighten out the hips, and switch legs. So the left leg is bent, the right leg is straight. You scoot your hips over towards the left, put your left foot on top of the right knee, roll over onto your right hip, and if it's comfortable, you want to put the right hand on the leg, releasing the shoulder into the ground, letting the knee release across, so the space between the shoulder and the knee can open up, and then breathe a little more fully into that space. Inhales tend to expand and open. Exhales tend to release, let go, soften. Relax a little bit into the exhales. Softening the spine, the skin of the face soften, the jaw release, and even let your eyes begin to melt a little bit. They can be closed or open. Another 1 or 2 breaths here. Always feel free to stay longer if you feel like it, or come up quicker if you have to. And when you feel like it, come on up to center. Straighten out your hips. And let's do a final hug of the knees. You can, again, have the hands down on the ground, or you can have them around the legs, either in a relaxed way or holding tight. And roll from side to side. Let your head come loose. Move your jaw around a little bit. Massage out everything. If you have sore spots, spend a little extra time rolling on those sore spots. Pay attention to your breathing. Get comfortable. Several more rocks from side to side. And at some point, let your feet come down and make yourself comfortable for a final relaxation here. Let's get pillows. There are different ways you can do the pillows. You can have one pillow under your head and a bolster or a couple pillows, or even sometimes a small pillow will work under your knees. And that allows all that work we've done through your bones and joints to relax deeper inside. Get comfortable, settle down. Let your tailbone rest. Let your shoulders rest. And take a few breaths. Now take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. Do 2 more of those. Deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. 1 more time. Deep breath in, out through the mouth. Let your spine get heavy. Let your hips get heavy. Let the shoulder blades release and open into the earth. And take in all that we've done. Feel a sense of friendliness to your body, like you've done something nice for it. From your toes, to your ankles, to the knees, to the hip joints, the whole length of the spine, from the bottom to the top, your fingers, your wrists, the elbows, the shoulder joints, and the neck spine. Let your teeth be slightly apart so the jaw is relaxed, and let your eyes melt a little bit. When the eyes can soften, the brain can relax, let go. And key spots to think of letting rest are the tailbone, the shoulder blades, the left and right side, and the back of the skull. Letting those places get heavy, and then that allows the front of your body to feel open and spacious. And let your body soak in and drink in what you've done. Gradually, the breath gets quieter, the heartbeat slows down. If you get very quiet, you will feel your heartbeat. Then let your awareness come into your body and just feel any currents or sensations. Let your mind come into the body and join it a little bit, listening to the language of your body. It has its own language, and it isn't English. And see what it has to say to you. Does something feel like it needs more or less? Is something tight? Are things relaxed? If there's anything that needs to move a little bit, let it move. Feel the breath gently flowing through. And then consider all the joints in your body, the toes, the ankles, the knees, hips, spine, fingers, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the neck, spine, and the jaw. And just let them all feel spacious and open, as though they're breathing. When your joints get springy and open and lubricated, they actually do move a little bit with the breath. And let them release their rigidity and move gently with the breath. Very subtly, very inwardly, letting the whole body let go into a very gentle sense of life and enjoyment. So when you relax like this at the end of a session, it lets your body soak in the strength and the freedom that we've created. Then let's gently think about coming back into the world of activity again. So we go back and forth between activity and rest. First, start by paying attention to your breathing, and just start to breathe a little more. A little more full on the inhales, a little more full on the exhales. Then start thinking about coming into movement. Start in small ways. Again, treat your body like a friend that you're listening to. See how it wants to move. Move fingers and toes, perhaps, ankles and wrists. And then stretch, move around, get your body stretching out. Listen to your body and move in ways that feel good. At some point, when you feel like it, bend your knees and roll to one side, curled up for a few moments. Your blood flow moves a little bit, settle down, let it settle and move. And when you feel ready, come on up to sitting. Any comfortable sitting position's fine. Hands are light, resting wherever they want, on the legs or on the lap. Shoulders relaxed. You can have your eyes closed. And then let's gently bring the hands together in front of the chest. And with your eyes closed for just a couple of seconds, find your place of being centered, however you feel centered. And contemplate the sense of your body and your inner being resonating with each other. The work on the body affects your inner being and how they come together for you in a unique way. And then with a sense of respect for your body and your work with it, we'll do the Indian greeting of Namaste.